I love watercolor. It's so fresh and it's so spontaneous and it's so exciting. I believe very strongly that we're all born to create, and I think that you can do it if you think you can. It takes desire, it takes determination, and it takes practice. But even more important when it comes to watercolor, it takes learning the basic skills and understanding the fundamental principles. And that's what I want to show you in this video. When I took my first watercolor class in 1970, I had a teacher who insisted that we could mix every color that you wanted to mix with just 3 tubes of paint. And I believed that for a long period of time, although I was a little frustrated because I couldn't seem to get the brightness and the intensity of the colors that I wanted. What we mixed with were what are called the primary colors. The primary colors are the colors that can't be mixed: red, yellow, and blue. And these are used to mix all of the other colors. But believe me, it doesn't work with just 3 tubes of paint. So I'm going to show you a system that I've worked out called the split primary color mixing system. This is actually a very old system, but I don't think that anyone quite understands how it works, and so I'm going to show you not only how to mix the colors, but I'm going to explain to you why this works. First of all, you want to, in order to make this complete color wheel, you've got to have 2 primaries at each location here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a color that is a very bright lemony yellow, and I'm going to put it up here on the right side of this line. This is sort of like a clock here. And so what I'm working at right here is 12 o'clock. And then I'm going to go to the left side of 12 o'clock, and I'm going to put this quality of yellow, which is a very sunny and bright yellow. And the colors that you use for this color mixing system must relate to these colors in this way. Now I'm going to go down to 4 o'clock to blue, and I'm going to use a color that is called phthalo blue or Winsor blue, and I'm going to put that above the line at 4 o'clock, and then below the line at 4 o'clock I'm going to put ultramarine blue. So you can see there's a very different identity. This is kind of a greenish blue, and this one is almost a purpley blue. And then over at 8 o'clock I'm going to put the reds. So I use a color called Winsor red, or it might be Grumbacher red, or it might be a permanent red. It needs to be a bright, warm red. And then below that I'm going to put a crimson color, which is kind of a bluish red. This is an alizarin crimson, or you could use a color called carmine. Now, I'm going to mix my colors. Every color that goes between this color and this color is going to be mixed with just these 2 colors. There's a very firm rule about this. You cannot cross this line when you're mixing the colors that are between. So let me start that, and I'll begin by mixing an orange using this yellow, which is New Gamboge, and this, which is the Winsor. And there I have a nice bright orange. Then I go back into the yellow again to make the color called yellow orange, and I mix that, a little bit of that, into my orange mixture, and there I have a nice yellow orange. And in order to get the red orange, I add just a little more of the red to the orange mixture, and there's my red orange. So now I have a nice clean range of colors throughout this range because I have stayed away from the colors on the other side of the line. Now let me show you what happens if I do mix the colors on the other side of the line. I'll start with the crimson, and I'll add some of that lemony yellow. And what I get is an orange. Let's get a little more yellow in there. An orange that's a little bit gray. It's not nearly as bright as this orange. And there's a very good reason for that. That's because when you're mixing these 2 primary colors, the color that is going to alter the mixture is the opposite color. This is called the complementary color. Blue is the complement, and as you can see, there's a little blue in this red, and there's a little blue in this yellow, making it a little bit greenish. And the tiniest bit of that blue is going to dirty the color and make a grayer color out here at the side. Now let's see if that follows all the way around. We'll start with the greens. We'll mix the phthalo blue and the lemon yellow, get a nice green. And when I want the yellow green, more yellow. And the blue green is more blue. And again, I have very nice clean colors on that side of the color wheel. So let's see if the rule proves itself. The color that causes the problem with green, these being your two primaries, would be the red over here. A little bit of red in this and a little bit of red in that. So let's see what happens when I take the sunny yellow and mix that with the warm blue, and I get an olive green. Now there's really nothing wrong with these colors out on the edge, but if you're trying to mix pure bright color, you cannot do it with these colors. So this might be good to use for grasses and for trees and for a naturalistic looking green in a landscape. Now let's go on down and mix the crimson with the blue and get our purple. There's a nice bright purple. If we get a little more blue in there, we'll have a blue violet. And if we get more red into it, then we have the red violet. We could use even more red in that. I'm always very careful about this alizarin crimson because that's one of those colors that has a real powerful tinting strength. And I don't want it to change the color too fast. So, again, if we were to use the red here or the blue here, there's a little bit of yellow, the third primary, and that's what makes this color mixing system work. Always have 2 yellows, 2 reds, and 2 blues, and make sure that they relate to the same type of red color that you see right here on the color mixing wheel. This is the split primary color mixing system. In this little video, what I've tried to do is give you an idea of what the most basic things are that you need to know to paint in watercolor. These are the books that I've published within the last few years. It's important for you to learn the basics, and what you do in order to accomplish this is you read the books, you take classes, and most important, you practice and you believe in yourselves.